And there's a fish on the drop. And she's just woken up. Oh yes. Hello guys, welcome back. Today we've got a pretty small tide and we've got the light action spinning gear back out again. Going to be casting a few metal jigs around, also casting a few 360 minnows and doing a bit of jigging also over a few wrecks and reefs. Hoping to find a few bass ideally, but we'll also surely be picking up a few pollock along the way as well. And as we know, you know, the pollock are a very hard fighting fish, and if we do pick any up on the light action gear, you know, it's normally fireworks. You normally get a real good battle out of them. We have had one stop off already, first light early this morning, and we hit a wreck on the way out to the reef that we're on. Got some quite good results, and I'm going to show you that a little later on. But for now, sit back, enjoy. I'm going to have a few casts, try to winkle a fish or two out for you, and enjoy the day. Right guys, so we're going to go with a little 40 gram metal jig. We're just situated heading over a bit of a plateau where it raises up from like 60 foot to about 20 feet, and the bass do sit around there, as well as all the other predatory fish, even good for mackerel and whatnot. We're just gonna work the jig along, just bouncing it along, working it down slightly deeper, 25-30 foot over the plateau. Now that felt like a fish. It could be that I'm just running over the top of the plateau there, because it shallows right up, but that definitely felt like a fish there. Picked up a nice selection of metal jigs from Southwest Sea Baits. They've got a good selection of small metal jigs in there, and that's what I'm using today. Small metal jigs, the 360 minnows also, if I get a chance to see a few bass working nearer the surface. But there's no doubt about it that the metal jigs definitely work. You've got to have confidence and faith in them. You just got to keep working them, hit those areas where the fish are, and you get paid richly. A little posse of gulls there. Wonder if they know something that I don't. No doubt they do. They're probably looking at me thinking he's wasting his time. Well, they're probably right.
Now there's a fish. There we go. Fish on. Just took that little metal jig on the drop there. Oh, it just spat me right underneath the rod tip. Now that is so frustrating. Very, very frustrating there. It just started to wake up as it got in close. I actually couldn't call what it was. I was thinking small pollock, but as it got closer it started to shake and thrash, and that's normally what the bass do, so I don't know. There's a fish. Fish on. Well, we've worked hard for it, but at long last we've got a bit of reward. Brilliant. Just fluttering that little metal jig down, and he took it on the drop. Lovely. He's hanging down there now. Oh, that's going, yeah. And it's our old friend Mr. Pollock, I think. There we go. Lovely. Lovely fighting fish. Excellent. Just toss him straight back. Nice fighting fit fish. Lovely.
Well, as I mentioned before, we did do a stop off on the way out here and run over a wreck a few times and managed to winkle a few fish out. So sit back and enjoy.
Welcome back, guys, on this fine morning. Sun's just coming up and we're just having a couple of drops on a wreck whilst we're on our way to our mark where we're going to start off the day. We pass over this wreck heading out, so it's always worth a drop. And actually I've just dropped a set of feathers over and got completely smashed and done by something, and it knocked one of the feathers off. It snapped one of the feathers off, so there's definitely a few fish here. There's that just felt like a little knock there. I've got the lightweight spinning outfit down there. There's hardly any tide and it's quite a small tide. I've got a 60 gram Joker Mayhem lure on, jig down there, and I'm just having a little bounce around. Ideally I'm trying to find a couple of bass, if I'm honest. I've filled my boots full of pollock recently and trying to catch something a bit different today, but we'll see what goes on. To be honest, if we do get a good pollock on this light outfit, there'll be fireworks. There's a fish. There we go. Something's there. Oh yes, that is going. Oh yeah, go on baby. Now that, I reckon, is the pollock I was just talking of. Well, you can't be unhappy with that. It's only light gear I've got on here, and this thing is like a steam train. If you want to get your string pulled and have some fun, then get yourself out, drop a few jigs over some wrecks and get into some of these hard fighting fish, because they are a dream when you catch them. I've got 15-pound braid line on here. 20-pound hook length, and I've got a circling pollock coming up in the morning sunshine, angry as anything. What I'll do with this one is, I think I'm gonna, he's chock full of sand, some kind of little bait, white bait. There's your jig. I'm going to just pierce this one's swim bladder, and then I'll let this go. There we go. That's a nice pollock for the light spinning gear. You saw the way that it ripped off. Probably about £6, I reckon. For that light gear, that's definitely more than a match. And this is what the last one got out, all over the deck. A nice little mixture of sand eels and I don't know what this little fish is, but it's met its maker anyway. Let's get that back in the water. Fish. Well, fighting a little different to a pollock. It's either a very, very small pollock or it's a pouting, I think. It's a very, very small pollock. Like an awful lot of fish down there. And they are taking a real liking to this Joker Mayhem jig. There she goes. There's a fish. There we go. There we go, indeed. Don't think that one even realised what was going on there for a minute. I don't think it realised it was hooked. And have a look at that, sun rising. It's about 5 in the morning at the moment. And here I am, not another boat in sight, getting my string pulled. You just don't get any better than that, does it? And on this light gear, for me, this is the best way of catching any fish. You get such a good fight out of them. He's not done by a long shot, this one. There's another pollock. There we go. Very, very nice. Well, I'm fishing. I really wasn't intending to do any jig fishing today, apart from just having a stop off and see if we can find a bass or two. But actually, I'm reluctant now to leave this little spot for the moment, because this is great fun. There you go, sardine coloured mayhem jig. Let's pop this one back. Down she goes. Lovely. What's that? And there's a fish on the drop. And she's just woken up. Oh yes. Beautiful. I think we'll just stay here all day, shan't we? But this really isn't the plan for the day. This is just a stopgap whilst we're on our way out. I think this one wants to get himself back down into that wreck in a big way. Oh yes. This one's a bit of a stubborn so-and-so here. Just had to tighten up a little bit on that, because I wasn't even making any headway on him. Wow, it really is a strong fish, this one. And when you think about it, I'm on a 3000 size reel here, 3000 size spinning reel, 20 to 60 gram spinning rod. I've got a 60 gram jig on, 15 or 20 pound braid, 15 or 20 pound, I forget now, 20 pound hook length. You know, it's not a heavy outfit by any means. This really is a frisky fish, this one. Been getting a couple of messages online about technique, and suggesting maybe that sometimes I'm not using a purist technique for these jigs. Well, I'm going to say it for the record here, I don't care whether it's a purist technique or not. I'm catching fish, and that's all that matters. You know, people get so drawn in and wrapped up to perfect form and trying to do something out of a textbook, that they seem to forget that the whole essence of coming fishing is to catch a fish. And if you're catching fish regularly, then why would you want to change anything, really? You don't tell the fish what they want, they tell you what they want. This is a real animal of a fish, this one. He's gone right out there, and that is a bloody good pollock for a slight spinning outfit. We'll take that one. Oh. Very nice fish, that. Now, yeah, it's a double figure fish comfortably. Hooked just on the outside of the mouth, and sometimes when you hook them there, they do tend to go a little better, because they're not being impeded at all by your hook. But that is a beauty of a fish on that light outfit here. And have a look at that for a fish on a 20 to 60 gram spinning rod, 3000 Shimano size reel, 20 pound braid, wallop. Well guys, that'll just about have to do us today. Unfortunately, been blown off a little out further. There's quite a stiff easterly breeze that's picked up now, so I've had to come back into the Plymouth Sound for a bit of shelter, and I'm going to start heading back in,
keep my eyes out to see if I can get an opportunity for you casting, if there are any birds working, etc. But other than that, that's going to be a wrap. Was hoping to really get into a few bass. Unfortunately, didn't see any birds working, and out on the reefs I was unable to connect with any bass at all. Luckily, we stopped off on the wreck on the way out there and managed to fill our boots with some really hard fighting fish. All of that was within the space of about half an hour's worth of fishing today, and then pretty quiet and hard work for the rest of the day. So that's just fishing. You know, at least we caught a few nice fish and got a beautiful set of fights out of those nice pollock on the light action gear. But until next time, we will see you again.